We're live. Live, live, live. Oh, well. Let's finish getting this all set up and then we can get cracking. Hello, Chobi. You're right, fella. Sorry, mate. I'm just getting everything set up still. What's going on? Live chat. Now I've got my chat box popped out. Flying. We're flying. Minimize that. Hello, hello, hello. I'm just going to share this in my Discord and then we can get started properly. Boom. Right. So let's try and not leak the RSS setup that I pretty much just did. Oh, cheers, Graham. Thank you very much. Nice to see you again. Let me move my mic so maybe it's picking my voice up a bit better now. Yeah, thank you very much. It was a difficult one, not gonna lie. Very, very difficult. So I've just trained me. Hiya, Harmy, you're alright. Hiya, Jamie. So just before I did a few test laps, and essentially I concluded that I'm happy using the Catalunya setup from last season. I'm not going to say it's perfect. I'm not going to say it's terrible. It's just is what it is. You can do the laps. It feels very, very funky on lap one. Let me just make sure that my audio levels are working, because I sound like this. Okay, that's good, that's good. We flying, we good. How is everyone today, anyway? Are we all having a good hump day? This turn right here. Okay, it's making a liar of me. It normally just floats around loads, and it just didn't. Walk the bike home 4 miles. Wow. How long did that take you? About hour and a half? It's not really that pleasant, is it? Yeah, I see you, Apex. I see you playing iRacing, demanding that I join Xbox Live parties to talk to you. I see you. 90 minutes is pretty good going, really. As a favour for your brother-in-law. Oh, top in-law, you then, Jamie. Top in-law. So whilst I was testing this hairpin is horrendous. I hate it. With the new MX5, the way you got the sequential shifter now, I just can't get the car to stop as good. I feel in some turns, it's just a bit more inconsistent for me. I don't know whether that's because I'm not used to it, or that's just the way it is. Oh, did he? Okay. I've just been I've had a bit of work to do today, so I couldn't really join, and then I didn't know how long I was going to be on for before it turned out it was like 15 minutes or something, so... First section going okay so far. Let's try and keep this flat. Lovely stuff. The back end sliding a little bit. Try and keep it tight. Not bad, not bad. I feel like I'm struggling with a lot of frame rate issues at the moment. That's really annoying. The plan, Jamie, is to just basically try and set a lap that I consider to be okay round here. Talk my way through it as a live guide, essentially. And then if we have time, see what we want to race. Nothing too special. And try not to go off the track like that. That was rubbish. Long right-hander is horrendous as well. We make it work. Hardest part of this track. We make it work. Decent, decent. Yeah, to be honest, I haven't done too much in the Formula V. But yeah, it's awkward when you get it wrong. That's for sure. 2 minutes 3.9 on the first flyer is decent. Messed up turn 1, which compromised turn 2, which compromises turn 3. But let's just see if we can keep it flat. Use a bit of the curb to get some rotation. Yes, Graham. I'll be honest with you, it's not something I do in all sims. It's something that I've just started doing in ACC. Just to sort of... It's a weird one to explain. For me, personally, in ACC, when the brake bias is shifted forward, it induces more understeer even when you're turning, which I'm not sure whether that's the way it should be. If it is, then that's perfect. If not, then you know, I'm not bothered, because that's how I understand it on that game. So in the GT4 car that we were driving, because it could get a bit leery at times because of the way I brake due to iRacing, I basically just adjusted it so that I could make my car rotate more in some corners, rotate less in others, and it seemed to work nicely. However, over a 24-hour race, oh bugger, I've completely battered my car there. Yeah, over like a 24-hour race, when you're doing like 2.5-hour stints, it's hard to keep focused and remember to make those changes every single lap, every single turn. So I also noticed a few of the quicker guys in a couple of the leagues that I've been involved in at some point. They do it, so it's just me trying to figure things out on that game. Yeah, that's it, Graham. That's exactly it. It is a lot to focus on. It's something I have experimented with on iRacing. I just personally don't notice all that much of a difference. when I'm doing it on iRacing. Whether that's because I'm just not near the limit on iRacing yet, I don't know. I feel like it's a subtle adjustment that can. It's not necessarily worth putting in all the effort to figure out, like, oh, okay, on this corner, it's better if I move the bias 0.3 to the front. These minor adjustments, they're not really doing much in the grand scheme of things. I think for me personally, as I say, on ACC, it's more because I brake like I'm on iRacing, and that it doesn't really work that great on ACC. So, but anyway, that's something for other streams potentially. There is a potential that I'll be doing more ACC content coming up in the future, but we'll have to see. Count. Yeah, I agree 100% of the time with that count. Yeah, 100%. Squeezing out those last few hundredths, last few tenths, at most, or consistency it was for me on ACC, and I think I'm a lot closer to the top level in ACC than I am on iRacing. It just seems like an easier game, to be honest with you. Yeah, it seems like he's decided to park his car there. Not ideal. And so how are we looking here? Not looking too hot, are we, at the moment? Just scraping into the 203s, which is where we want to be, I think, anyway. But maybe into the mid 203s is the place we want to be. Or 203.3 from Niklas. Oh my word! He's made an appearance in my stream a couple of times. He's smashing it. Hope to God he didn't do that on raw pace alone. Yeah, he's avoiding any fines there, isn't he? Where's Niklas? Bloody hell, how's he getting a 203.3? What an absolute animal. That's just raw pace. That's impressive. Congratulations, Niklas. So I've definitely got some time to shave off, haven't I? Here's me trying to teach you guys how to do the track, and I'm learning from Niklas. So he's taking turn 1 in second gear. Interesting, okay. And it's just going to be flat through here, isn't it? That's fine. Second gear, yeah. Keeps it nice and tight through there. First gear, yeah, that was nice and smooth as well. I was unsure on second or third through there. Yeah, just a nice lift, it's lovely stuff. That's where he saved all his time. He's nailed that hairpin, and I haven't. That's impressive from Niklas. Got the exit of this corner nice. He got the rotation by getting the right hand side of his car on the curb on the inside. Lovely stuff through there, floating it through. And that was just clean. It was clean. It was a bit of hesitation through there, but it was still clean. No braking either. I thought he might have hit the brakes based on the sound. Just a lift. Interesting. Very interesting. Alex T, hello, thank you. Yeah, advanced MX5s are fun, that's for sure. count, am I using the same setup? Yes, here we go, hang on, let me just load it up for you. Catalunya 21 Season 2, Davy Skills, Catalunya. It's okay, it does the job. Obviously, I mean, hold on, what are my splits? So my optimal is a 2037, so I'm still nowhere near Nicholas, am I? I think it's just that hairpin, if I'm being perfectly honest, that we need to work on. But if we can get into the mid 203s, then I'll be happy. I think that's a good standard for me to try and break down for you guys, to try and talk in sort of detail about it, try and explain the thoughts going through my mind whilst I'm going around the track, and the reason as to why I'm doing what I'm doing. And being perfectly honest, setup seems a little bit too understeery on this outlap on corner entry, and then the rear end's floating around, so like maybe soften the front end a little bit, but maybe this is just on the outlap. As I say, unfortunately I haven't put any time into the setup really. I had 15 minutes to see if it was okay, and it seemed okay during those 15 minutes. But that's when I thought I was aiming for high to mid 203s, not low 203s. Cracking time from Nicholas. No, I haven't actually. To be honest with you, I never use low fuel, even in quali. It's not something I've ever done in the MX5. But that's interesting. If it does make such a big difference, maybe more and more people are going to start doing it. I really like how you put the umlaut in his surname there as well, Jamie. It's fantastic. Really like that. So he's taking turn 1 in second gear as well. Ooh, slowed down a bit too much. And then this is where the back end's going to get real floaty. Look at that.
Well, alright, we got another pit crew member, eh?
Oh, bloody hell. Thank you very much. New subscriber, love it. Welcome to the pit crew. Yeah, I think I don't want to say Nicholas is using low fuel, but if he was, then that would explain it. But there's certainly there's scope for improvement on the time that I've put in, definitely. Last section's so technical. If you get it right, you can save so much time. That was a bit better. Now let's try and nail this. Definitely didn't nail it. That's disappointing, I think. New minute 3.9, just not good enough, is it? try and improve. Not good enough. Trying to keep it tight, but also trying to get on the power early, trying to find that balance, and just not really getting it at the moment. We're definitely finding time. And a bit wide. Oh, we managed to keep it clean. Potentially a 1x here. Oof, we keep it clean, lovely. Potentially overslowed there, but I think we get away with it. Starting to find a bit more pace now, but then we make a mistake on this long right-hander, which is so unforgiving. Too much speed. Compromises our entry. Destroys the car on the exit. Yeah, you should make a compilation of those, Jamie, yeah. So I'm sure you guys can see at 203.7 there, and there's clear, blatant mistakes that we can improve on. Just need to get my head in the game, start executing these corners a bit better. Feel like I've got to lift there. Feel like the car's just not sticking like it should. Oh dear. We got away with it. We got away with it. If we nail this last section, we'll get a PB. Oh dear. Oh dear. We're not nailing it. We're not nailing it. Definitely not nailing it. Tried something new. Tried shifting up to second gear. A little short shift. Yeah, Jamie. I feel like I do have to crank on the wheel quite a lot. I mean, look at Nicholas there. 2033, 2033, 2036. Phenomenal. Is he still in the lobby? Let's give him a little PM. Awesome lap. Right, what we want to do is we want to break down my lap, and we want to... Do we want to break it down yet? No, I want to do another lap. I want to have another run out. Because it's the last section, isn't it? Like, look at this last section on this lap. It's shocking. From this point, we get rid of this. So, carry too much speed through. I don't want to be here. I want to be more in the centre of the track to really open up the left-hander. It just really compromises the entry here. Which then compromises the exit, which then means we smash over this curb, and yeah, like the damage to the car there is probably too much, probably much too much. The floor of the car is just getting ruined. But yeah, that's that. That's that. Let's have a look at the splits. See, my optimal's only a 2036 as well. That's a little bit frustrating. What can we try and do? What should we try and do? What's that? 1mm, okay. Right, let's just try this. Let's try and do that. Try stiffening this up as well. And we're gonna do a bit of... We're gonna do a bit of this and a bit of that. Okay. Random click simulator. Here we go. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make the car have a bit more rotation on turn-in, but then maybe try and reduce a little bit of that transitional oversteer on corner exits. Just a little bit, not much, but just a little bit. It's the whole purpose of me clicking those things randomly there. It's really difficult to tell on the outlap with cold tyres. Still feels quite tight when I put the power on and then the back end kicks out. It's interesting. Could be a job for just whacking loads of tow on. What I've experienced, or what I've noticed quite a few times when I've been able to get my hands on other people's setups, is they like to throw loads of negative tow on, like excessive amounts of negative tow is what I'd consider it. But it's probably not excessive, it's just more than I'm used to. And then just have rear tow on like normal, I guess. Or within the usual parameters. So like they'd have -5 on the front toe and +2 on the rear. Things like that. I think Rachel's setup that she shared for Monza had quite a lot of negative front toe on it. I think, I'm not sure, can't remember off the top of my head. And then there was someone's setup that I managed to get my hands on for Nürburgring, which was interesting. Okay, so let's just try and talk our way through the lap as well. So coming into turn 1, we're going to be in 5th gear. And we're looking, just before the 100 board, you got these little orange lights. That's where we brake hard down to 2nd gear, just as Nicholas showed us. Cut the curb on the inside. Take curb on the inside of turn 2, up to 3rd gear. And I would recommend just doing a little confidence lift to try and keep the car nice and tight and try and keep that back end stabilised. If you get it all perfect, you will be able to stay flat out through the entire section. Braking under the Repsol board, awning or whatever you want to call it, the bridge, down to 2nd gear. We're trail braking, we're keeping the car nice and tight and getting on the power as early as we possibly can. Up to 3rd gear, and then down to 1st gear for this downhill left-hander. Using the curb on the inside. Hopefully it gives you some rotation. It didn't give me any there, unfortunately. Got to shift up to 2nd gear quickly on the exit. Taking on the curb, down to 2nd. Munching on that curb. Straddling the yellow sausage, up to 3rd gear. clip the grass, turn in, little lift, power, take it a lot better than that as well. Bloody hell, that was awful. Braking near the 100 board for this turn, down to down to first gear. Trail braking, really cranking on the wheel and getting on the power when you're close to that curb on the inside. Chopping this curb, little lift, small amounts of trail braking to just throw your car in and get on the power, keeping it nice and tight. Just as we get to the top of second gear, we brake, attack the curb on the inside, keep the car in the middle of the track on the exit, down to first gear, get as close to the sausage curbs as you can. Oof, that was better, And then we're flat to the finish. So, theory behind negative toe. You want negative toe on the front and you want positive toe on the rear, like 99.9% of the time. Negative toe on the front will, it should make the car a bit less responsive on turning. However, when the car does turn in, finally, it should grip more, just due to the way the tyres are angled, the way they're positioned. With rear toe, you want it positive because slightly positive, sorry, because when you start turning, you put the power down, the back end's going to kick out. Basically, it's going to add a bit more slip angle, and slip angle is essentially what makes fast people fast and slow people slow. Quick people know how to achieve this, and slow people don't understand it. They want a car that's stable, very stable, has a lot more understeer, and the back end doesn't rotate at all, really. And slip angles, like it's an interesting one, man. Like, I'm not gonna ramble on about this too much because I can't claim that I know everything about it. It's a concept that I'm aware of. Basically, my simple understanding of it is the rear of the car should be about 5 degrees-ish out of line of the front. So if you're going around a right-hander, then your outside left, that is the outside, Dave. This is difficult, bloody hell. The outside rear tyre should be further, should be angled, should be stepped out basically more than your left front. So all 4 wheels in line, when you're going around a right-hander, you should be like that, if that makes sense. And this is, it's something that, as I say, quick people, they do without realising sometimes. I'm sure some of the world's best drivers are fully aware of this, but then there's going to be some people who've just got natural ability, natural talent, that don't understand what they're doing, but it will be the back end just stepping out, and the positive toe helps you to achieve that easier. But with that being said, it can also make the car undrivable for some people because they're not using the car in the same way. The only slip angles you get are in the shower. Love that. To be honest, round this track, I think I'm the same. I just, in that first section then, I think I was 2/10 up, which would have got me a 0.5, but then I just lost it all. So I'm definitely struggling to achieve the same lap that Niklas has got there. He's oh god, he smashed it. All I can really say is congratulations. There's a 1x, lovely. We'll give it one more lap, and then we'll have a look at what Niklas just said to us, because whilst I was rambling, he did send me a couple of messages there. And then we'll just break a lap down, go into detail, and I will definitely have some, oh god, some moments where I say do as I say and not as I do, because definitely struggling. And with me just damaging the floor there, I'm going to be losing time on the start-finish straight. Not much, but it will be some. So, second gear for turn 1. Probably slowed down too much there. Definitely slowed down too much. But it's set us up nicely for turn number 3. Let's see if we can keep it flat. Might struggle. No, that's okay. It's okay. That was a bit of a better turn 4. Oh no. And we've messed it up. Someone saying hi there. Oh, that might have been in the chat. Sorry, boys. Right, my head's gone. My head's gone. I need to pull over. I need to pull over. I'm getting a lot of frame rate issues as well. Yeah, it's definitely something going on today, isn't there? Right. So, what do I want to do? I want to. Oh dear, didn't realise that. Tell you what, I'm struggling in this heat today. That's PMM saying hi. Oh, driver's no longer connected. Okay, anyway. Laps. This, unfortunately, is my fastest lap. So let's go into the cockpit cam. Right, okay. So, starting, coming down the start-finish straight, we're obviously shifting up to 5th gear. And as I mentioned previously, what we're looking for is these little orange lights just before the 100-meter board. I tend to brake. In my mind, it's just after them, but if we look at the inputs here, it's probably going to be bang on or just a little bit before. So yeah, we start braking before our car gets there. Bang, just now. We're trying to straddle this curb on the entry to try and open up the entry to the corner, because we're going through a series of corners now where there's 3 turns and we're braking for one of them. The rest of them, as soon as you put the power down, it should be flat out if we get it right. So we need to get this spot on, basically. So we're in 5th gear, we're braking in a straight line, going down to 2nd gear. As always, when we're braking in a straight line, we're braking fairly hard initially. And then as we begin to turn, ask our front tyres to do more work, we begin to come off the brakes and transition into a more trail braking style. Trail braking is something that iRacing requires you to be good at. Your tyres can only do so much, so when you're going in a straight line and you hit the brake, you're only asking the front tyres to decelerate. But when you try and turn, you're asking them to decelerate and to turn at the same time, so you can't brake as much. Think of it like that. So the more you turn the wheel, the less you should be braking, to try and simplify it a lot. So as we're turning in, we're looking at this yellow sausage curb and we're trying to straddle it. We love straddling sausages on this channel. That's what you need to do. In the MX5, straddle those sausages all day long. Trying to get on the power before you touch the curb. As you can see, I straddle that sausage beautifully, and then we're flat out. Whilst this is playing through, what's Harmy saying here? Well, everyone, just pay attention to Harmonic or David Hock in the chat. He knows exactly what he's talking about. That's fantastic. Watching this back, as you can see, we're attacking this curb, and you can hear we're on the power. We're flat, we're flat, we're flat, we're flat, up to third gear. Do I do a little lift on this lap? I do. Oh, that's shocking that actually there's 2 lifts. Is there a third? No. So what happened on this lap was I experienced understeer, which I wasn't expecting. So I've lined the car up in the middle of the track, and then we try and attack this curb on the inside. If you notice that you're understeering wide, you're going to want to lift to put more weight on the front tyres so they can turn more. What I do on this lap is I lift once, I notice I'm still not turning as much as I want to be turning, I lift again to try and initiate that get those tyres to get that bite again. It's not enough, and my car just keeps understeering. As you can see, I'm cranking on the wheel. I should be turning a lot, but I'm not. I'm understeering wide, so I'm losing time through this corner. I don't get it right at all. What I would do differently if I were able to sort of take over from this point in the lap is I'd get more over to the left-hand side of the track. Need to get further over to the left-hand side of the track before we turn in to, again, open up this long right-hander. If we get it right, if we open the corner up, we can then smoothly glide up to this curb on the inside. If we give it a cheeky little kiss, just a little kiss, it's going to get our car to rotate as well, unsettle the car in the MX5. It gives you more rotation 9 times out of 10. And then we would have, we might have had to have caught the car to try and keep the car, basically not drifting and powering through the turn. So yeah, just a small adjustment could have saved us maybe half a tenth to a tenth there. And then at this point, we'd be in the same position. Heading into turn number 4, we go to 4th gear. We're looking for the Repsol sign, the bridge, the awning, whatever you want to call it. And we're going to be braking down to 2nd gear. Another thing to look out for is this line going across the track. Around this time is when I start to brake. As you can see, I'm already applying the brake. Probably something I've noticed recently is that the braking markers I actually use, the visual markers, I tend to brake earlier than when I actually think. So for me, personally, I think I brake exactly where that Repsol sign is when I go underneath that Repsol sign. Obviously, in practice, boom, I'm not under it, but I'm braking. I'm probably a car length, 2 car lengths earlier than what I imagine. Just something to bear in mind, essentially, when you're listening to me ramble. So we're lining up, again, straddling this curb, braking hard initially. As soon as we begin to brake, we start angling our car into the apex of this corner. The reason for this is because of the camber. Is it cambered? I don't even know anymore. But it's slightly uphill, which essentially means we have a bit more grip just because of G-forces. So what you'll notice is I brake quite hard initially, or as I'm braking, I turn in, brake hard, down to 2nd gear, then we trail brake, and there may even be some coasting depending on how quickly I've slowed down, if I've overslowed the car. So 3rd gear, down to 2nd gear, we come off the brakes, coming off the brakes even more. Yep, we're coasting, put back on the brakes, because we're trying to get our car nicely alongside this curb on the inside. It's okay to touch the curb after you've put the power on, but if you're touching the curb before you've put the power on corner entry, it's going to force you out wide and you're going to start losing time, because the goal here is to get on the power very early and keep the car nice and tight, and touching the curb on the entry to this corner will stop you from doing that. So as you can see, I am on the curb, I do put the power down, and now what you may see is I should drift out wide. I'm really cranking on that wheel. That I don't really turn the wheel 90 degrees ever, unless I'm going through a chicane or a hairpin or something like that. So on a corner like this, I've done something wrong if I'm doing that. And as you can see, we've exited the corner right in the middle of the track, whereas what we want to do is be exiting, hugging the inside here. That'll save us probably a tenth just on the corner exit because we've travelled less distance in the MX5, which is the key to going fast in the MX5 most of the time. If we watch this back again at full speed, Repsol sign, third, turn in, second, trail brake, avoid the curb, get on the power, then you can kiss the curb and try and keep it tight on the exit, up to third gear, and then we swing over to the inside. Braking point for this turn, I'm not sure you're going to be able to see what I use. Let's just roll it forward slowly. Yeah, okay, so it's pretty good, this braking point. So what I use, there's a light patch of asphalt, of tarmac, of concrete, whatever you want to call it, just here. I don't even know what shape it is, to be honest with you. Can we go to some sort of... I wish we had a better camera, better free cam. Let's go fixed, static. Okay, there you go. You can see it from above. So you should be able to see that there. Almost a square. It just sort of bleeds in here. When your car is alongside that, that's when you brake, and you're braking down to first gear for this turn. If we just step it forward, so I'm starting to come off the power now, and my car's approaching this, and I'm just braking now. So that if that gives you any idea, I'd say right now my car is fully alongside this patch, and I'm fully braking. Yeah, that's the best I've got for that turn, to be honest with you. It's not ideal to show on stream because the quality is just not there, unfortunately. Anyway, third gear approaching this corner. Look out for this little patch that I've just pointed out. We're braking hard, using the curb on entry. Down to second, attacking the inside, down to first, then we trail brake, as per usual. Try and get the car hooked up with the curb on the inside. Once again, you don't really want to be touching the inside curb on corner entry, but when you've put the power down, mid-corner, corner exit, you can touch the curb. It should help your car rotate, which is fantastic. That's what you need on this tight downhill corner. You need to try and get the rotation, and then you're quickly up to second gear on corner exit. So bang, second, first, try and get that rotation on the curb when you put the power down, up to second quite quickly on corner exit, and then I take a nice little straight line in between these two corners. Doesn't save you too much time, kind of messes up your entry to the next corner in most cars, but in the MX5 it's quite comfortable. Braking point is the red and white curb when it starts. You are going to want to get the right hand side of your car on this curb. We're at the top of third gear, we're going to brake down into second gear, and we're really going to attack the curb on the inside. Again, the normal principles apply with the MX5. You brake hard initially, you change down, then when you want to turn, you come off the brakes, ease off them. If you want your car to rotate more, you trail brake more. In this instance, I think I overslowed the car, to be honest with you. It seems to be a theme in this lap. Because what you'll see is I brake, start to come off the brakes, and then I'm coasting because I've hit the speed I want to hit. It's not such a bad thing to coast sometimes. However, to coast for that period of time, personally, is too long. I need to be on the power on the brake at some point there. Anyway, that being said, looking at the line, we're attacking the curb on the power when we hit the curb, and then watch the runoff on exit. You can use a lot of this, but if your left hand side tyres go on the green stuff, that's a 1x. You've invalidated your lap. Then we're up to third gear, approaching the quick right-hander. I do like to dip 2 tyres into the grass here. Just give it a little clip. Still full power. We lift to try and apex after the sausage curb here. And that's all we're lifting to do is to get some rotation. It's that simple. So clip the grass, turn in, spot that sausage, lift. Then when you see your car rotate, put the power back down and you stay flat. It's such a simple corner, but it's very easy to get wrong. Grass, turn, lift, sausage, power. Boom, that simple. Double dip. Heading into the hairpin, we've got the 100 board, which is a nice indicator of where to brake. But what you'll notice is I'm braking already. So is the blackboard better? Have I just found a better braking marker? Yeah, 100% that's better. I haven't passed the blackboard. There's the little post, the pillar the blackboard is on. Use this. You can use the 100 board as a marker, as a reference. However, this is perfect in my opinion. So because we're going from high speed to a very low speed, we're going from 4th gear all the way down to 1st gear, we're braking in a straight line for a lot of this corner entry, we're braking hard for a lot of this corner entry, about 80%, 75, 80%, probably even more to be honest, because I'm not comfortable going into this, probably be a bit of panic. So bang, yep, we go all the way up to 100% initially, and we come off the brakes, down to 2nd, down to 1st, and then we should come off the brakes quite a lot now, because we're trying to turn. Yep, trail braking all the way up to the curb, to when we apex, and then we slam the power down to try and initiate some rotation. Again, a little bit of understeer. As you can see, I'm turning the wheel a lot and not really turning too much when we look at what's going on here. But we make it work. I'd say I need to make the car turn more with the setup. I'd say that's the difference between my lap and Niklas' lap. Definitely, if we can get a bit more rotation, get the front to bite a little bit more, then we're going to find some speed. So braking at the blackboard, down to 1st gear, then we trail brake, then we power when we attack the curb, up to 2nd gear shortly after. This left is a nothing turn, just don't cut too much of it, otherwise you're going to invalidate your lap. And we want to try and open up this long, awkward right-hander, so try and get over to the left as much as you can. It's not too easy, to be honest with you, so the middle of the track will do. Also, this curve, it does unsettle the car, so I just sort of wait until the car's a little bit balanced, and then we turn in. We're going to be lifting, covering the brakes just a smidge. It's just all about controlling your speed. We're not necessarily braking in the conventional sense. We're using the brakes to control the speed and rotate the car. I wish I had some more pointers for this turn, but I don't. It's just all about keeping it tight, keeping the car controlled. If you're understeering out wide, you're going to need to cover the brakes a bit more. And then as soon as you should feel your car stop understeering, go to a very neutral place, that's when you need to put the power down. That's when you should initiate a bit of oversteer. Yeah, that's all I've got. It's just by feel this turn. It changes every single time for me. The key is to get on the power at the right time. If you do get that right, you will be lined up perfectly on the very, very exit or extreme left of the track. As we'll see here, we just drift out nicely, straddling the curb. And then as we get to the top of 2nd gear, again, I've got no real brake marker here. This is just all by feel. We're going to start to turn in to this sausage curb. We need to avoid the sausage curb, but that's what we're looking at as we turn in. And we are going to brake at the same time. As you can see, because I'm unsure of where I brake, it's just soft, gentle braking, trying to control the speed. I should have held onto the brake more, because what you'll see now is I understeer all the way out wide. I get on the power early because I just think I've committed, and I'm in this position now, which is terrible. You don't want to be here. This is wrong. This is shocking. Do not do this. Do not be here. We need to be here. This is where we need to be, in the middle of the track, nice and centered. The way I could have done that is by trail braking more, if I can pick the correct camera. If I would have held onto the brakes at this point now, then I don't know, actually. It's tough. It's tough in this situation because if I brake now, I'm going to hit this sausage curb and that's going to really destroy the lap. So essentially what I've done is I've just turned in too early. But what should be happening is I should be about half a car width to the left, and I should be trail braking just a little bit to get more rotation, to get the car pointing more this way instead of out this way. If we got that right, we would have been over here, about 2 car length or car widths to our right, and then that would have lined us up nicely to brake for the chicane, which is really, really, really difficult, like super, super difficult. Braking point is the start of this curb. I'm gonna have to find another lap, aren't I? Because this is shocking. 2038. Let's see what this is like. Okay, that's better until the chicane. So if we just watch this again, then let's see if we can discuss this a bit better. So I'm a trail braking. How long am I trail braking for? Yeah, I'm still on the brakes, right up until we get close to that sausage, and then we're on the power, and it allows us to be more in the centre of the track on exit, which is perfect. That's what we want. And then we're essentially, before we even get to that curb, we start braking, turning into this sausage curb, down to first gear. Again, this is all gentle braking because we're asking the front tyres to slow us down and to turn the car. We're asking to do 2 different things, so we can't ask the brakes to do as much work, essentially. Once again, we're really attacking the red and white part of the curb, trying to avoid the yellow. As we approach the curb, we put the power on, and then we're immediately into the right-hander. And on this occasion, I don't get it right. For some reason, I'm leaning on the brakes as well. If I was doing that on that lap, then I've lost time. That makes sense. Okay. Sorry, I'm rambling like a fool. So what I should have done was potentially, I could have got on the power later. I could have kept turning left a little bit more, or I could have turned in a little bit later and lifted more for the right-hander. Because as you can see, I don't even go. That's about 40% on throttle. That's not enough. I don't get enough rotation, and what ends up happening is I do carry a nice amount of speed through the corner, but I understeer and absolutely crock my car. As you can hear, not good, not good. We don't want to be doing that. We don't want to be doing that at all. Stay away from that yellow curb if you can. Just give it a little glance. And in the last turn, super easy. We're just shifting up the gears until we get across the line. And we end up getting a 203.741. Obviously, Niklas has slapped us silly with a 203.3. Absolutely fantastic lap from Niklas. What I'm going to do is actually just watch this again, because I feel as though he deserves it. He does watch some of the videos from time to time. So Niklas, take it away. I'm just going to try and analyse his lap and see if I would make any improvements, but obviously probably not going to be many. He looks as though he apexes earlier going into the first turn than I do, and he rides that curb a lot more on turn 2. Look how settled his car is at this point compared to mine. Lovely stuff, that. And he's just in control. His car's rotating beautifully. Wow. Oh my word, his setup's incredible. Congratulations. Seeing that at full speed now. That's insane. That is insane, brother. Awesome, awesome work on that setup. That long right-hander was insane, wasn't it, man? His setup is just, it's... I imagine it's quite difficult to drive when you're getting used to it. But look at that, he's so comfortable. So settled. Wow. Alright, Quino. Lovely stuff. Nothing too special. Ran a little bit wide on entry, if anything, there for me, but it does give him a nice exit. Look, he's got more time there. Lovely. Lovely through that chicane. It's a good lap. Very, very good lap. Congratulations to Nicholas. I think I need to do some setup work, to be honest with you. Jeez. So that's the difference then between a 2033 and a 2037. Fantastic stuff. Right. I do want to do some setup work now after watching that. That is insane. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Am I going to use Rachel's setup? -3, that's interesting, that. Didn't even notice that. Mental. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Let's just start again. So naturally, what I'm looking for, the front of the car is too stiff and the rear of the car is too light at the moment. So how do we combat that? There's a couple of ways we can do that. Oh, keynote, no mate, not even thought about it. So my initial thought is to take that front anti-roll bar and move it away from firm to medium, because that's instantly gonna, the roll bars deal with the horizontal weight movement, it has a lot to do with turning, that, doesn't it? Obviously, it's one of the first ports of call when we're trying to make the car turn more, turn less, be more responsive, be less responsive, things like that. Personally, I'm not sure, because if you take a medium roll bar and you put, say, and I'm literally just picking numbers out the air here. If you take a medium roll bar and you put 100 kilogram of weight on it, and you start throwing that roll bar about, that roll bar could bend quite a nice amount. It could be the perfect amount for that amount of weight to be bent. That force to be acting upon it could work really, really nicely. But you could have a firm roll bar and you could put more weight on it and it could bend the same amount. It could give you that same amount of, it could be responsive, but it could give you that same amount of give, same amount of traction, essentially, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm kind of thinking, do we pitch the car forward more, give it more rake to move the weight forward? Now this would stop initial corner understeer, and it might also, that initial corner understeer might be the reason why we're getting that drift mid corner. So I'm kind of thinking that could be a solution, but I'm not sure. Really not sure. Are we going to try it? Are we going to keep it firm? Let's keep it firm. Let's bump the rear up to like, what? How much are we going to bump it up? Go to like 127. We were on like 122, were we? So it's only 5 mil. It's not a lot, but we're just going to try and understand whether this is the way to go or not. Just experimenting more than anything, because obviously I've got the setup that I'm going to give everyone. It's already in the Discord that everyone can have. But just watching Niklas and his lap, the lines he was taking were phenomenal. Now, of course, after I've tried to theory craft this setup and convince myself I'm doing the right thing, it could be completely wrong. Do we just need to put a sticker rear roll bar in? Do we just need to stiffen the rear up and make it slide? Is that what we need to do? But it's still not... I mean, it's the outlap, so let's not make too many judgments. Still understeering a lot. Interesting, this. Interesting. We're trying to learn. Tell you what, it's not going too well. Yeah, so we're just getting that understeer, aren't we? It's just not good enough. That was much better through there, though. Because obviously we've given the car more rake. It means that more of the weight is on the front of the car, less on the rear. The car should rotate more. It's just on the entry to some of these long sweeping corners, it's not working. But in the slower turns, it really is working. It's doing what it should be doing. Awful, awful. I just can't keep it as... I mean, I know the entry to the corner was nowhere near as good. I just can't keep it as tight. We're coming to the end of the session now, aren't we? Bloody hell. What do you guys think? Do you have any input at all? What would you recommend? Oh, and I knew you'd like a bit of tuning, Joby. The car, when I put the power down, the car initially just has way too much understeer. So I think part of that problem is the crazy damping that I've got on the car, because it is, admittedly, it's crazy. And that's just me driving like an idiot. Setups are all Greek to you, Jamie. Okay, well, what we're going to do, we're going to quit. Because I'm a quitter. No, because that session's about to end anyway. I'm going to turn the fan on because it's absolutely roasting. And then we're going to join another session, and we're going to try and figure this out as best we can. We're not going to give up. We got this. We got this. Not your favourite track? No, it's Catalunya's a bit of a weird one for me, Theo. Because when I think about Catalunya, I don't really like it, but in practice, I seem to be quite good at it. Um, yeah, it's just one of them. Track limits are inconsistent. I agree. Um, if we're talking about the fast right-hander, the exit of the fast right-hander, sometimes you get a 1x, sometimes you don't. Exit of turn 4, I think. Sometimes you get an off track, sometimes you don't. Yeah, I agree, Graham. I agree. It can be rubbish to race on, that's for sure. Yeah, count. Yeah. Typically in real life car, you want the roll bars stiff in the front, softer in the rear, but not by a large amount. Yeah. So my understanding of roll bars, Choby, is it depends on weight in the car. Um, and that could be completely wrong, but I just think of I literally think of a roll bar being like a bar that goes from your left front to your right front, and it goes from your left rear to your right rear. So if you've got a lot of, if your car is perfectly balanced, then you're going to want the roll bars to be what, I don't know, very, very similar, basically, aren't you? Potentially the front a little bit softer to aid with turning or aid with front grip. I don't know. That's the way my mind works. But no car is perfectly balanced, is it? Most cars tend to be front engine in real life. In I don't know. That's just the way I'm thinking. Yeah, not an MX5. Yeah. So I don't know. I just Harmy. I'm sure to God you've got better input than I have on this. For me, when I'm tuning a car, it's my mind trying to figure out um what components of a car do to a car. Why, if I adjust this, what result would that have? And obviously, I'm not educated on this. This is all just experience and guesswork. Um, so yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Let's try that. Let's go OEM. Let's go firm on the front. 118. No, hold on. Let's start. I'm starting again, and I'm sure. Hold on. Yeah, so this is what I did, wasn't it? I did a bit of that, and let's just whatever. Let's leave that like that, and then we want to put this to yeah. Yeah, counter. I agree. I think it's an area that is underappreciated, especially because so my understanding of sim racing, right? So whoever's made this game, for example, that we're playing, iRacing, this sim, it is a simulation of real life. So there's all sorts of coding and maths and things that have gone into this to try and make it simulate real life. Try and make it simulate what car parts do, the impact that physics have on a car and things like that. So let's just say, for example, the person who's made this game has done this massive equation. It's great, it's perfect, but instead of putting a 1, they've put a 2 in the middle of this equation. So then their simulation is off. It's wrong. But they've made this game. It's done. It's finalized. It's out there. We're not having any more updates for it. It's a finished piece of work. So then the people who play the game have to then educate themselves by playing the game like for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, making small adjustments to cars. Okay, this roll bar needs to be like this, like this, like this, blah, 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 blah. They find out what's quickest, mostly through trial and error, and then they start to adapt and learn the game and understand what it's about. But what they've learned is for that simulation of the game, of real life, sorry. So then if they go into another simulation of real life, then instead of putting the number 1 in like this guy should have, instead of putting a number 2 in like this guy has into this equation, they've put a number 3 in. And then it's completely different again. It's changed absolutely everything. And obviously I'm trying to oversimplify everything. It's just a general idea that I have on games. Because like, I'm sure you could spend quite a lot of money reading, buying textbooks, reading up on, getting a bloody degree in mechanical engineering or whatever you want to do. And you could be saying things that are true in real life, but then you put them in a game, it's not going to work because the game doesn't simulate real life correctly. And whether that's just me being, having that boomer mentality that games can't simulate real life, I don't know. It was much easier in PGR3, definitely. And so, Harmonic, when I'm saying that if I put more weight on the front of the car, then that'd be more force, more load on the roll bar, wouldn't it, when we're going through corners, because there'd be more weight on it. Is that correct, or is that just me completely butchering the theory, making up my own BS? Because that's the way my mind works. And again, I'm no expert. This is just, yeah. I can imagine. I can imagine. As long as I'm on the right track, I'm happy with that. I'm never going to be able to fully understand half of what you need to do to tune a car. A lot of my experience and my tunes and my knowledge comes from trial and error, and I think, like I was saying then, it's something that a lot of people do. There's people who claim to be experts, but it's just people who just play the game a lot. I get you, Harmy. I get you. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Yeah, so it's all about getting the most out of the tyre. Yeah, so that's mechanical grip, isn't it? It's getting the most out of the mechanical grip that the car has available to it. Yeah, getting the contact, the contact patch or whatever, using all of it most of the time or as often as you can. I still can't get my car to turn like his. Yeah, I mean, Harmonic's the man to go to for sure. If you got any questions about stuff like this. Yeah, okay, awesome. So the way, essentially, that's the way. Obviously you're a lot better at explaining this than I am, but that is what I try and do. Or that's at least in my mind what I'm trying to do. But then it gets to a point where I'm just trying to work on the balance of the car to be preferable to me. So you get the you get the car to use the grip available to it, and then you adjust how it uses that grip. And like, well, with the dampers, essentially, how the weight's transferred, if it's transferred quicker or slower, and things like that. So already, my optimal in this session is quicker. Sorry, is, well, wow, okay, 2035, unbelievable. Well, that's fantastic stuff, Army. Thanks for the input, man. I really appreciate that. It's nice to know that although I've come to these conclusions just by making stuff up in my mind, basically, that I'm at least going along the right path. I get you. I get you. Oh. So we're definitely finding more time with these small adjustments when we are making to the tune. Definitely made a mistake on corner exit there. Thanks, Graham. I'm glad you're enjoying it. It's certainly not what I intended the stream to be, but I love all this stuff. I can chat absolute wham bars for hours when I get going about setups and things like that. It's a never-ending search for perfection for me. You can spend days and weeks and months and years just working on a car, adjusting little things that make little to no difference in the end. As I say, it's nice to have someone like Harmonic, who knows what he's talking about, essentially confirm that I'm not a madman. This car is definitely better. Feels a lot better. And that's essentially just from putting the rear roll bar in my opinion. So we're going to pull over. Oh, that's awesome, Theo. To be honest with you, I've never used SimHub, but that sounds super useful. That also, yeah, Harmy. That so suspension data. So obviously, Zermatt's played ACC quite a bit. I've played ACC quite a bit, really. Now, come to think of it, and then when we use Motec to try and tune a car, we look at the histograms of the damping, and I don't know. It's just I think I understand it. I understand what I need to do on the game. Okay, this it's overbumped, it's under rebound, whatever. Make some changes. It just doesn't work, and then I just lose all patience. Um, I'll have to look into it, Theo, because that does actually sound really useful. That because in iRacing, when you're using ABS, your braking isn't optimal. So if you're in the MX5, like I know on this track, going into the hairpin, I know that I use ABS. I know going into the first turn that I use ABS because I slam on the brake and I can feel my car wiggle, and that only happens on this game when ABS kicks in. So that's awesome that you've made that. That's something that I'll definitely need to look into. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and put the roll bar on medium on the front and just see what happens. See if it's awful. I really don't know how to launch this car anymore. Now we've got these new mega long gears. So it's definitely turning more on these cold tyres. Wow, it's a lot better through there. Still not perfect on the exit though. Entry and mid corner was beautiful then. Exit wasn't great. That could just be something to do with the dampers though, that we need to adjust. Oh, thanks very much, Theo. Thank you. Something I'll definitely look into. Oh dear. 40-40 roll bars, yeah. It overlays the brake throttle with ABS. Well, colour me interested, Theo. Colour me interested. I want to give Mr. Julio Perez 3 a bit of space. Can also use this to get a nice little run. Oh, he slowed anyway. Lovely. So now this is going to completely skew the lap time. We ready to have a mega lap time here, chaps? Unless he blocks me. Already a tenth up. 2 tenths up going into the braking zone. That's the ticket, Theo, lad. Oh, it's not even Theo. Sorry, I'm getting confused with my chat.
Stay on the right. Clear.
Sorry, Theo. I meant Julio. Oh, typical. He's going to come back at us, is he? Boy wants to race in the practice session. Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you very much, Theo. Thank you. Feel like I can turn in. I can brake a bit later there now. Turn in later. The car's definitely got a bit more rotation. As I'd expect. So much better through there now. So much more nimble. Okay, I think we're making progress. I think we're making progress.
2 minutes.
Purple last sector.
9, 7, 2.
Let's turn, baby. Let's turn. No. It's still got that characteristic where it wants to push. I mean, I'm massively up on my time. Lost about a tenth through those 2 turns. Oof. Got away with one there. Definitely a 1x there. That's annoying because that's lost us time. Missed that corner. So this lap is very sloppy, but it's going to be quite a good one. Oh, he says as he nearly understeers off. Alright, it's not too bad. We lost a bunch of time in a bunch of turns there. But we got that 0.3. This setup is much better. Much better.
You got a slow car on the right. Go left.
Ah, okay. Well, if I like it, Theo, there's, I mean, a very good chance I'll be getting the premium version. That was a bit better. Still not quite as good as Niklas. That was shocking as well. That's a 1x. Okay. I think I'm going to call it quits there. I think I'm quite happy with this setup. There's still definitely some tweaking to be done. We can still make some adjustments to make it quicker. Still got that initial or sort of mid-corner understeer that we could certainly do without. But it's definitely a lot quicker than what we started the day with. This will be shared in the Discord under the Catalunya GP Advanced MX5 channel. Obviously, if you're not a member of the Discord and you want to get the goodies, just click the link in the description down below. Feel free to join, say hi, steal all the setups, the telemetry, whatever you want. It's all there for everyone to enjoy. Free of charge, baby. It's the way we do it. Oh-ho! Oh no! .2032 optimal. I'll take that. I'll take that. I reckon with a better setup you can get 202s round here. Yeah, I've seen SimHub around in the past. I've just never played with it, but it's definitely, as I say, it's something I'll take a look at. You know, if you've recommended it, Theo, I'll give it a go, mate. Graham, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm really glad you enjoyed it, to be honest with you. That turned into something that I wasn't expecting. So yeah, I'm absolutely made up that you enjoyed it. Let me just save this setup. Save as. Go Davy Skills, Catalunya. Let's make sure we name it 21S3. Lovely. Save. Done. And I'm just going to drag these over into the Discord just after the stream. But yes, thank you very much for watching. I hope you did enjoy that. Tomorrow we've got a race in. I'll be in a GT3 McLaren racing against Graham, who's in a GT3 Lambo, amongst a host of other people in Ferraris, you know, the whole GT3 collection. That's going to be tomorrow night, tomorrow evening, starting about 7:30 is when I should start streaming. And yeah, besides that, I hope you enjoy this race week, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow if you want to come say hi. See you later.